oh my god, there's naked people in the ambulance bay. Hey guys, so I'm an ER nurse. Well, I work in a rural hospital, so I do med-surg ER and I help in OB. I just got off a night shift. And now I'm on my way to my parents to go work on my camper. But I need to tell you about my night last night. Nurses are not superstitious. Well, they're a little stitious. There are things that you just can and cannot say. One of the big things is you can't say the Q word, quiet. You're never allowed to say that. You're never allowed to say any patient, past or present patient, by name. Because when you do, they will be coming in that door or they will be ringing their call light. There are so many more, but that's the big things. But we have a new one at my work. A couple months ago, we were all sitting in the break room around 1 a.m. Filled out so then we could finally eat. We're all talking. One of the nurses talks about her past and she talks about some drugs that she used to do. And she was just mentioning some like random ones, and she mentioned mushroom. And how she said that she had done a couple times, but they weren't for her. And literally as she said, yeah, but they're not for me, the ambulance bay door, someone is ringing the call light like that's outside the building. I stood up and walked out into the doorway to look down the really long hallway to see into the ambulance bay. Straight up, I yell, oh my god, there's naked people in the ambulance bay. Now, once we opened up the door, we realized they were not naked. They did have shorts on. But in the window I couldn't see. There was a kid who looked like he was gonna like puke in like any second. It's on inside out, and then there was a mother-in-law with no shoes on. And I asked, how did you guys get here? Did someone drive? And the kid who looks like he's about to puke says, yeah, my wife did. Wife comes running up. She's like 7 months pregnant and literally like about to give birth. And she goes, oh my god, this is the most I've done in forever. And grabs her stomach. So we quickly calm her down so she doesn't give birth in our ambulance bay. We get the kid into ER. Turns out he ate like 8 gummies, mushroom gummies from the smoke shop. This is my dog. And just was having a giant panic attack. He was fine and he was okay. But it did turn into a whole long process. And he almost punched one of the nurses for putting in an IV. It left a bad taste in our mouth for sure. Last night. Now, one of the nurses, we were all, the same nurses were on except for one nurse. And she goes, oh my gosh. And she starts to tell this story about this night. And I literally stopped. I said, hey, I thought we said we were never going to talk about that again. And she brushes it off and she goes, yeah. No, we're never going to talk about that again. That was a terrible night. He's like explaining the pregnant lady ran in. Turns out he had just eaten a bunch of mushrooms. As she got to that part, we get a phone call from the front entrance. And guess what? This man, think of word he's saying, all of this, all that you can literally make out is him saying, I did a bunch of drugs. So you're telling me that not only did I tell you not to tell that story, you brought another story into this facility. So anyways, yeah, it turns out that man ate lines of coke and drank 12 beers. So he was fine. He just needed to sober up. New workplace rule, never allowed to talk about drugs.